How's it going, everyone? Austin Honecker here. I just want to come on here for a while and give them a review for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Rampage from 4 nights ago, which was December 2nd, 2022. I gotta say, it was awesome from start to finish. For the matches, match 1, it was Darby Allin versus Cole Carter. That was a great match. But the ending to it, Darby Allin went over with the coffin drop. Now, before the match, as Cole Carter and Nick Comoroto were already out in the ring and Darby Allin was already out in the ring, Darby Allin attacked Nick Comoroto with Sting's baseball bat and beat the shit out of him and everything. That was cool. That was before the match, by the way. Match 2, it was Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal versus Private Party, which are Mark Quinn and Isaiah Cassidy. That was a great match. But the ending to it, Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal went over cause Jay Lethal pinned Mark Quinn with the stroke lethal injection combination from Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal. Match 3, it was Athena versus Danny Moe. That was a squash match, but the ending to it, Athena went over with the gourd buster. Now, after the match, Athena attacked Danny Moe and beat the shit out of her, and all the referees had to come out and restrain Athena from doing more damage to Danny Moe and everything. That was cool. That was after the match, by the way. And match 4, which was the main event, it was Orange Cassidy versus QT Marshall in a lumberjack match for the AEW All-Atlantic title. That was a great match, but the ending to it, Orange Cassidy went over and retained the AEW All-Atlantic title with the beach break. Now, after the match, Orange Cassidy attacked Kip Sabian, and a brawl between Orange Cassidy and Kip Sabian ensued, and then the Varsity Blondes, which are Tony Nese and Josh Woods, attacked Private Party, which are Mark Quinn and Isaiah Cassidy, and beat the shit out of them. And as that was going on, the House of Black, the lights went out, and the House of Black, which are Malachi Black, Brody King, Buddy Matthews, and Julia Hart, appeared, and the House of Black ended up beating the shit out of the Varsity Blondes and Private Party, and ended up attacking Ortiz and Ari Daivari and all the other lumberjacks and everything as well. That was cool. Now, that was after the match, by the way. And that was match 4 and the main event, by the way. Now, besides the matches, Renee Paquette interviewed Keith Lee. Well, Renee Paquette brought up to Keith Lee that she's been trying to get a word with him and everything, and asked where Swerve in Our Glory stands and everything, and Keith Lee was getting ready to talk, but Shane Taylor came along, and Renee Paquette introduced Shane Taylor, and Shane Taylor was talking about how Keith Lee has done nothing but leave family because he left Swerve Strickland behind at Full Gear against the Acclaimed, and left J.D. Griffey behind, and Shane Taylor himself behind as well. And Shane Taylor challenged Keith Lee to a match at Ring of Honor's pay-per-view event Final Battle, with it being Shane Taylor and J.D. Griffey versus Keith Lee and a partner of his choosing and everything. And so Shane Taylor left, and Keith Lee was looking on, and Swerve Strickland came along, and Keith Lee said to Swerve Strickland, "Can I trust you, dude?" And Keith Lee ended up leaving, and Swerve Strickland just looked on. Well, Swerve Strickland and Renee Paquette Well, Swerve Strickland and Renee Paquette looked on and everything. That was cool. AEW aired a vignette of the build-up of the ongoing feud between the Dark Order, which are John Silver and Alex Reynolds, and LFI, which are Jose the Assistant, Roosh, and Preston Vance. That was cool. AEW aired a vignette of the build-up of the match between Hikaru Shida versus the Bunny for the Regina DeWave title on AEW Rampage this coming Friday. That was cool. Renee Paquette interviewed Billy Gunn and The Acclaimed, which are Max Caster and Anthony Bowens. Well, Renee Paquette introduced The Acclaimed, and Billy Gunn and The Acclaimed came out, and Max Caster done a rap, and Anthony Bowens said his signature line, Indianapolis, The Acclaimed have arrived, and everything, and then Anthony Bowens said his signature line to Billy Gunn, scissor me, daddy ass. And so Billy Gunn and The Acclaimed done the scissor me gesture. And Renee Paquette was bringing up about The Acclaimed being the AEW Tag Team Champions and who they were going to face and everything. And Anthony Bowens was talking about how Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal interrupted their scissoring and everything, and talked about how they have to wait in line for their shot at the tag team titles and everything, and Max Caster agreed and everything, and Anthony Bowens was talking about how there's one tag team that's been waiting for their shot for the AEW tag team titles for a long time. Well, as Anthony Bowens was talking, as Anthony Bowens was talking, the Guns, which are Colton and Austin Gunn, came out, and Austin Gunn was saying, well, what do you know? Our old friends, The Acclaimed, and Billy. And Austin Gunn was saying, so you all want to say that you want the best tag team in AEW? Well, you're looking at them. And as Austin Gunn was talking shit, Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal, Sanjay Dutt, and Satnam Singh came out, and Sanjay Dutt was on the microphone and said, whoa. Listen here. I'm going to say this right now. You have a two-time Hall of Famer in Jeff Jarrett, and you have the best professional wrestler alive in Jay Lethal. And the only thing I see out of you two are a couple of ass boys. Yeah, I said it. And everything. And then Billy Gunn got on the microphone and said, whoa. I think all of you all misunderstood The Acclaimed. The Acclaimed said they want the best. So FTR, which are Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler, came out, and FTR, which are Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler, and The Acclaimed, which are Max Caster and Anthony Bowens, shook hands and everything. Stared each other down, shook hands and everything. That was cool. Renee Paquette interviewed Saraya. Well, Renee Paquette brought up about Saraya making her in-ring return after 5 long years, not competing and everything, and asked her how it felt to compete and everything again within them 5 years, after 5 years and everything. Well, Saraya was talking about how she had goosebumps from competing in the ring after 5 years and everything, and Saraya talked about how her brother has been a big supporter in her life, and how it meant a lot to her that he was there in the crowd to see her match against Britt Baker. And Saraya was talking about how Britt Baker, how AEW has an awesome women's division, and Britt Baker, Jamie Hayter, and Toni Storm and everything. And Saraya was talking about how she's going to put all the women on the AEW women's roster on notice, and Saraya talked about how she was going to be going after the AEW women's title as well and everything. That was cool. Okay. Excuse me. Mark Henry interviewed QT Marshall along with Lee Johnson, Nick Comoroto, Aaron Solo, and Cole Carter, and Orange Cassidy along with Trent Beretta, Chuck Taylor, and Dan Housen. Well, Mark Henry brought up about Orange Cassidy and QT Marshall facing off in the main event for the AEW All-Atlantic title in a lumberjack match and everything, and Mark Henry asked QT Marshall why he chose the lumberjack match and everything, and QT Marshall was saying, well, Mark, the reason I chose a lumberjack match is because after the House of Black done what they done a week or so ago on Dynamite, I want my first shot at the AEW All-Atlantic title to mean something and to not end in chaos. But all you bozos and the best friends, y'all don't take nothing serious. You all think this is a joke. Because look at the way you're dressed. And everything. And Dan Housen was going off about it and everything. And Orange Cassidy asked Mark Henry. Orange Cassidy said, Mark, are we allowed to bring axes to the ring? Mark Henry said, absolutely not. And Orange Cassidy was asking Mark Henry if they could have, Mark Henry said his signature line, well, looks like there's been enough talk. And Orange Cassidy said, Mark, can we have at least a couple more minutes? And Mark Henry then finished his line and said, it's time for the main event. And everything. That was cool. And Darby Allin cut a promo talking about how Wednesday night on All Elite Wrestling's AEW Dynamite, he was going to be going after Samoa Joe for the AEW TNT title, and talked about how Samoa Joe wanted Wardlow banned from ringside, and Darby Allin was talking about how he wants Sting banned from ringside and just wants it between them two for the AEW TNT title. And Darby Allin was talking about how Samoa Joe's going to have to bury him with the AEW TNT title because he's going to fight to the best of his. He's going to fight and get the AEW TNT title back and everything. That was cool. Now, besides all that, Jim Ross, Tony Schiavone, and Excalibur done commentary throughout the whole show. They done awesome as usual. And the referees for the event were Rick Knox, Paul Turner, Bryce Remsburg, and Aubrey Edwards. Okay. Rick Knox refereed the match between Darby Allin versus Cole Carter. Aubrey Edwards refereed the match between Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal versus Private Party. Paul Turner refereed the match between Athena versus Danny Moe. And Bryce Remsburg refereed the match between Orange Cassidy versus QT Marshall for the AEW All-Atlantic title. all the referees done awesome as usual. Now, the match card that's been announced for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Dynamite Wednesday night so far, it's gonna be Samoa Joe versus Darby Allin for the AEW TNT title. The Acclaimed, which are Max Caster and Anthony Bowens, versus FTR, which are Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler for the AEW Tag Team titles. Let me see. A Dynamite Dozen Battle Royal to determine the number one contender for the AEW title. And the contestants in the match that have been announced so far are Matt Hardy, Brian Cage, Dalton Castle, Ricky Starks, Ethan Page, Jungle Boy, and Sean Dean. And Jade Cargill and the Baddies, which are Red Velvet and Layla Gray, versus Madison Rayne, Kiera Hogan, and Sky Blue. Those are the matches that have been announced so far. Now, besides the matches that have been announced so far, Jon Moxley will be appearing live, and MJF will be appearing live. So the match card for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Dynamite Wednesday night, or tomorrow night, looks like it's going to be awesome. I can't wait to see it, and I'm looking forward to it. But anyway, I just wanted to come on here for a while and give them a review for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Rampage from 4 nights ago, which was December 2nd, 2022. Like I said, it was awesome from start to finish. And with that being said, my name is Austin Honecker, and I will catch your ass down the fucking goddamn road. Peace out.